In this video, I'll show you how to add remote start to an F-33. Let's go. What's up, everyone? I'm Steve and you're watching F-33. Now, if you like this video, give a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you don't miss when a new video drops. Now, one thing that's been absent on BMWs until 2019 is remote start. Now, this is because the laws in many European markets prevented remote start from being an option. I always thought it was kind of crazy that you could get a Ford Focus with remote start, but not a 7 Series BMW. Now that is all about to change, however, with Bimmertech's newest mod. Bimmertech has been adding new functionality to BMWs for a long time. They've given us things like Android Auto, wireless charging, upgraded speaker systems, and now this, remote start. This remote start retrofit kit is available for most F-Series and G-Series BMWs. And to find out if your car is compatible, head over to the Bimmertech's website and enter your VIN. Also, make sure that you stick around to the end of this video because I've got a discount code that's going to save you a ton of money on your order. Now, remote start is great on those really hot or cold days. Imagine it's cold winter day. I'm talking about -2 degrees, the winds blow and the tears are freezing to your face. But inside your 4 Series, it's a comfortable 72 degrees and your heated seats are already on and waiting for you. It's days like that that you'll be thanking yourself for installing the Bimmertech Remote Start Retrofit Kit. Now down here in North Carolina, it doesn't get cold like that, but it does get hot, really hot. So I plan on using my remote start to cool down the interior so that I don't melt into a puddle on the seat. Now, remote start is also fun when you have a nice exhaust system and you want to impress or scare people at Cars and Coffee. I always found that it's funny when you have somebody looking at your car and then it starts up all by itself and they jump because your exhaust is loud. Now, when you order the kit from Bimmertech, you'll get a wiring harness, the main controller, and a key module. You will also need to supply your own key for this to work, but if you don't have a second key, don't worry. You can order one from Bimmertech at the same time that you order a remote start kit. Now, when you first look at this kit, you're probably thinking to yourself, what did I get myself into? It's not that bad. It's just a few wires that you need to repin and a couple of connections to plug in. I'll walk you through the entire process, just like I do with every install, and you'll be remote starting your BMW in no time. All right, well, I am really excited to add this remote start to the F-33, so let's head out to the garage and get it installed. The tools needed for this install are a Phillips head screwdriver, T20, 10mm socket, plastic trim tool, metal trim tool, pick tool, Tesla tape, and a fuse puller, which can be found in the trunk. The difficulty for this install is medium. All right, so the first thing that we need to do is prepare the key for the key enclosure. Now, this is what's going to allow the car to authenticate when remote start is activated. So on the back of the key, you're going to see the little button here. Just press this and your physical key will come out. Go ahead and press it in the other side here, and the back plate will pop off, exposing the battery. Now take a pick tool, or you can use your finger, pop out that battery, and then you can place the battery, the key, and the back plate aside because you will not need them anymore. Now, Bimmertech provides a couple different batteries. Use the one that is for your size. So we're going to use the bigger one here. We're just going to pop that in. Now you'll see on the back of the permanent power supply, there's a little gray tab. We're going to peel that tab up and we're going to take the ribbon cable that's provided, slide that ribbon cable in, and then we're going to lock that gray tab down. Tweezers may help with this. There we go. Now you can see it's locked in there. So now we'll take the Bimmertech key module. It's got 4 screws on the back, so we're going to go ahead, take a screwdriver, and unscrew those. Okay, and then we'll see the circuit board, and we just pull that out. And this is what our key is going to attach to. So on the circuit board, you'll see that same sort of connection as we have on the battery. So you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to flip up that gray locking connector, okay? And then we're going to push in the other end of that ribbon cable and lock it in place. So once you get it in there, just flip that down. Again, tweezers are probably going to be helpful. You can see now it's locked in place. So the last thing that we need to do is we're going to orientate our key like this on the circuit board, and then we're going to use some Tesla tape to hold it in place. If you haven't used Tesla tape before, it's pretty cool. It's like a fabric tape. So we'll just take this and just wrap it around. Now, if you're worried about someone stealing your car because there's a key fob in here, this only gets power when it's activated by the remote start device. This does not always have power. So now we're going to take this, we're going to put it back in the enclosure. And we're going to screw the enclosure together. All right, so that part is done. We now have the key ready, and this is what's going to plug into the control module, this connection here, and again is what's going to provide the authentication to the car. So we're all done here. So why don't we head out to the car, and then we'll start removing some of the trim and making those repinning connections. Because we're going to be working with the front electronic module, make sure that you disconnect your battery before performing this install. Most F-Series batteries are pretty easy to disconnect, but if you're not sure how to disconnect your F33 battery, I've put a link in the description to my battery change video, which shows exactly how to get to the battery. All right, so the first thing to do is to take off this trim right here. So you can do that just by putting your fingers underneath and popping it up. Okay, and if any of the clips are left on the car, which it looks like for me is most of them, just take them off of the car and place them back into the trim piece. For this, I found something like a metal trim tool actually works the best. The plastic doesn't have the strength to get the leverage to get these out because they're in pretty tight. So now that I have all of these in here, we can go ahead, put this aside, and then we're going to work next on getting
these two trim pieces removed. Okay, so now we're going to remove the two 10 millimeters. We have one over here and one on the other side as well. So go ahead and take your 10 millimeter and remove those. Okay, so now that we have those two 10 millimeters out, we can go ahead and just pull down on that panel. Now, once you have that panel pulled down, you're going to find some connections. Just go ahead and remove any connections that are attached. So on mine, I just had for the light and for the cigarette lighter. All right, so the next thing is to remove the kick panel here, and all we're going to do is just pull it. There we go. All right, so next you're going to remove the screw that is located right in here. Now this is a T20. Just go ahead and remove that. And then once it's unscrewed, you can pop the plate off. Okay, so now when I took this plate off, it actually has a connection on it. I'm not sure if this is just for the 4 Series or not, but what we can do is we can just kind of remove this connection from the plate. It should just slide if you pull this clip back. There we go. I don't know if you were able to see that, but basically I just pried this clip back and that connection slid out. All right, so the first thing that we need to do is to ground the remote start module. So you will find the grounding wire here. And we're just going to attach it right up here, and we're going to use that same 10 millimeter to ground it. All right, and then we'll just tighten that back up.
The pin numbers should be the same, but some of the wiring colors may vary model to model, so please consult the instructions provided by Bimmertech for the exact repinning procedure for your vehicle.
Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to take this fuse tap that Bimmertech provides, and we need to take out the lowermost fuse that's down here, and you should have a fuse puller in the trunk. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to put this fuse that we took out right in the top of the Bimmertech fuse tap. Just like that. And then we'll put this right where we took the fuse out. And we'll put it in the orientation so that the fuses are facing up. There we go, so it'll just look just like that. And it is a tight space to work in, so just take your time. All right, so now for the fun part, repinning. So we're gonna start with this top black one right over here. And you can use a trim tool, you can use your fingers, but basically you're gonna push in the retaining clip and then pull up on this harness here. And as you pull up, it's going to come out. Just like that. All right. Okay, and what we'll do is we are just going to use a pick tool and just press in this tab here on both sides, and that is going to release the harnesses. And of course, mine is in there really tight. There we go. They're just going to come out like that. And the one that we are going to work on is going to be the gray retainer. All right, so the one that we're going to do is this yellow with brown. It's pin 49. And this is labeled 37 to 54. So if you just count it, you can tell which one's which. You just press in on the tab and pull. There we go. All right, so now on the harness, we're going to take the orange set, and the one that we are going to start with is going to be the can L. And we're just going to pop that into pin 49 that we took out. Just make sure that you put the locking tab facing out. There we go. And one thing that you'll want to do when you're doing this repinning is you're going to want to slightly just pull out the locking tab just to make sure that it securely locks into the harness because when we're pressing it down, it can have a tendency to bend a little bit. So we're just gonna bend it up, and you can use either a razor blade or a pick tool. Don't bend it too far, but just a little bit so that you know it's going to catch. All right, and so what we're going to do is we're going to insert the one that we took out into slot 1, and that matches up with that orange and brown wire, the CAN-L wire that we took out. So we're just going to take this and we're going to insert it into slot 1. There we go. And then the next one that we're going to take out is right next door. That is pin 50. So that one is yellow with red. The hardest thing about all this is really the tight space that you're working in. There we go. All right, we are just going to insert the orange wire into slot 50 that we just took out. Okay. And then we're just going to make sure that this goes into slot 3 in the Bimmertech harness. And again, just make sure that you pull out the tab just to make sure that it's that it'll fully lock. Okay, and then once you get these in here and they're locked in place, you're going to push down this clip, and it's going to fully lock them, and then we're just going to plug it in. All right, so that is it for that one. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this back in here. There we go. Then we will just slide this back in and pull down the lever to lock it in place. All right, so the next one we're going to work with is this top white one here. So same thing, we're just going to press in on the tab, pull up the locking lever, pull this out, and then we are going to just slide out the actual wiring harnesses from the sleeve. There we go. And we're going to work on the gray retainer. So again, no need to slide this out because we're not working on the black one. All right, so the next one we're going to remove is 45, and that is green with blue. So again, just press in the bottom here as we pull up. All right, so we got that one out. We're just gonna bend that up just a little bit. And we're gonna take the wiring harness that has K1 in and K2, and we are going to match this up with K1. And we're going to put this into slot 2. There we go. And then we'll put K1 into slot 45 where we took that out. Okay. All right, so the next one is going to be pin 49, and that is going to match up with the pink and purple wire. That one came out the easiest out of all of them. All right, so now we're going to match this up, and we're going to put this in pin 1. Okay. And then we're going to do just like on the last harness, we're going to lock this in place and plug it in. And then we're going to put this into slot 49 where the pink with purple came out. There we go. And then we're just going to put this back together. And plug it back in. Then when you plug it in, you just pull this down and it will lock in place. All right, so we're halfway done. We're just going to take this black with white arm. We're going to press in the retaining clip, pull up the arm. And then we'll pull out the harnesses. All right, so on the blue retainer, we are going to remove pin 22, which is the blue with red. Again, same thing. We're going to apply a little pressure up. We're going to push the locking tab down. There we go. Now this is going to match up with the yellow and purple harness from Bimmertech. And we're going to insert into slot 1, which is the yellow wire. So what we're going to do is we need to kind of take this harness apart. So there is a little pin here. We're just going to kind of pull up and slide this apart. Now to make sure that you get the right one, you can insert this just to make sure that you're lining up with the yellow wire. So we're going to take that one that we removed and insert it into slot 1, which again matches up with the yellow wire. Okay, and then what we need to do is put the yellow wire into slot 22. There we go. And then we are all done with this harness. This one, the last 3 actually only have 1 pin in each. There we go. Okay, again, slide it in, pull the locking tab down, and then the next one that we're going to do is this black one here. Pop it out. All right, we're going to slide these out here. All right, on this one, we're going to be working with the black retainer, and we're going to be removing pin 30. Which is going to be the gray wire. There we go. All right, and we are going to stick that purple wire into slot 30. Okay, and then we'll put these back together. Throw the locking tab down, and then we're going to put this in the other side. All right, so and this is going to go into slot 2, which is going to match up with the purple wire. And then we just need to put the connector back together, so we're just going to slide the connector over till it clicks in place, and then connect these till they click. All right, now we just have one more, and it is way in the back here. It's the white with white lever. Hopefully y'all can see that. Okay. So now that we have that out, let's do the same thing. We're going to take the actual pin retainers out. And on this one, we're going to do the blue retainer, and it is number 16. It's the black with red. That's the one way on the end here. Again, same thing. Sorry, this is, there's not a lot of space to work with in here. There we go. Now we're just going to take the one labeled oil out. Now this has the same kind of connector as the last one. So we're just going to pull this out. We're going to go in slot 1 here. We're just going to pull the tab, slide this to the side. All right, so we're just going to take that black with red wire and plug it into slot 1. And then we're going to plug this in. We got to put the top on the clip. Okay, we'll plug this in. And then we'll just take that brown wire and we will plug it right into slot 16. And then we'll put this connector together. And again, we're just going to slide it back into the same slot we took it out. And then slide that lever all the way down to lock it in place. All right, so now what we can do is take that additional wire that's provided and we're going to plug in our key module. So we'll just plug in one end here. There we go. And on the other end, we're going to plug into the control box right in there. Okay. And then the other end, we are going to take the main wiring harness and plug that in on the other side. Okay, so now what we're going to want to do is the key module is going to go way up in here. The control box can actually fit up in here. So I am going to go ahead and tidy up some of these wires. Now you can use some zip ties, or what I'm going to use, because I don't have any zip ties, is I'm going to use some Tesla tape. So I'm just going to go ahead and wrap these wires up. Now what's cool about Tesla tape is it doesn't rattle because it's fabric. And I'm just going to do it kind of loose. I'm not going to go crazy with the tape or anything. This is really just to make sure that the loom is together and it's all nice and neat. There we go. All right, so this control box, like I said, this is going to go right up into here. And the key module is going to fit right up in this void up here. There we go. All right, so now these wires These can kind of just tuck out of the way. Just kind of like that. All right, so the only thing that's left to do is now to just put that plate back on, put all the trim back together, and we are all set.
Now, as you saw, installing Bimmertech's remote start retrofit kit is really easy and only takes about an hour to install. I'll put out another video where I show some of the different configuration options available with the kit, but I wanted to give a step-by-step detailed installation video so that I showed exactly how easy this is to install. Now, to remote start your BMW, once the kit is installed, just press the lock button 3 times and your BMW will start. To turn it off, just hit the trunk button 3 times. Now, this is the best Bimmertech deal of the year. You can get a 10% discount on all products and an additional 5% off their top selling products like the Remote Start Retrofit, MMI Prime, rear view camera, and the third brake light flasher, all with the coupon code BF2022Steve. Now, as always, I have put links in the description below to all the products and tools needed for this install. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button, smash it if that's what you're into, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless.